Fighters from the 114th Center of Ukraine Special Operations Forces have detected and eliminated an assault group of the invading Russian army near the city of Pokrovsk in Donetsk region. A few days earlier, the occupiers had disrupted the rotation of Ukrainian troops in the area and killed several soldiers, taking up a position in a locomotive car stationed on a railway line. After identifying the enemy's location, Ukrainian fighters launched a strike using kamikaze drones. Realizing they were under attack, 6 Russian soldiers exited the train and attempted to hide in a nearby building. However, 5 of the occupiers were killed in successive drone strikes. The sole surviving and wounded soldier signaled his surrender using hand gestures and pleaded not to be shot. The Russian soldier, tracked by the drone, was later evacuated by Ukrainian troops who arrived at the scene in a HUMVEE armored vehicle. Ukrainian forces continue to hold around 90 square kilometers of territory in Russia's Kursk Oblast, according to Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, General Alexander Syrskyy. Syrskyy's latest statement countered Moscow's claim in April that the operation to purge Kiev troops in the region has been completed. He claims that the operation has blocked a planned Russian assault on the Pokrovsk direction in Donetsk Oblast by forcing the redeployment of enemy troops. Syrskyy, speaking to journalists, has confirmed that Ukrainian forces remain in control of approximately 90 square kilometers in the Glushkovo district of Kursk Oblast. He explained that the operation prevented a large-scale Russian advance toward Pokrovsk by anchoring enemy troops in place. Our active operations in the Glushkovo district of Kursk Oblast disrupted these plans. As a result, those units were not relocated to other directions. One of the brigades already moving toward the Pokrovsk direction was returned to Kursk, Syrskyy said. Syrskyy also highlighted that the Kursk operation had earlier drawn in nearly 63,000 Russian soldiers and about 7,000 North Korean troops, reducing pressure along other fronts and enabling Ukrainian forces to regroup. Currently, roughly 10,000 Russian troops are engaged in combat within Glushkovo, according to Syrskyy. Meanwhile, near the northeastern border in the Pivnikno-Slobozky direction, north of Kharkiv and Sumy oblasts, Russia has amassed around 50,000 personnel, including 2 airborne divisions, 4 main brigades, the 177th Marine Regiment from the Caspian Flotilla, and other units. Despite the buildup, Russian forces advancing from Kursk into Sumy Oblast have been stopped just several kilometers inside Ukraine, along the line of Kindrativka, Andrivka, Yablonivka, and Unikivka. Sersky stated that the focus is on combining defensive actions with active defense and localized offensives. This approach allows holding positions and striking where the enemy is weaker. According to him, passive defense under current conditions only leads to losses, both in territory and personnel. Therefore, we combine defensive actions with active defense and offensive operations. That is, where possible, we strike the enemy and conduct counterattacks. We advance where we see weak spots in the enemy's defense, he said. Sersky reported that to implement this active tactic, separate assault units have been created. They appeared during the Kursk operation and are currently fighting on almost all the most intense fronts.
Russian dictator Vladimir Putin continues to believe that he will be able to seize 4 regions of Ukraine and win a full-scale war. However, the situation on the front suggests that Moscow will be defeated. Retired U.S. Air Force Lieutenant General David Deptula expressed this opinion on Channel 24. According to him, Putin is confident of his victory over Ukraine, since this is how the Russian military command reports to the dictator about the situation at the front. He emphasized that all of Russia lives in conditions where the head of the Kremlin completely controls the information flow. One of the factors why Ukraine, despite being numerically and resourcefully inferior to Russia, has demonstrated impressive results in containing this state, this organization, and the quality of governance. But you have done a remarkable job in containing this superpower, Deptula said. He added that Russia achieves success on the front not through professionalism, but through civility to the leadership. Deptula believes that this is why Putin believes he is defeating Ukraine. We call it drinking water from your own bathtub. It's when a person is so out of touch with reality that he believes in his own illusions. In Russia, this phenomenon has been institutionalized, he said. In the Russian army, it is impossible to advance through merit or command ability. Deptula added, recalling that Putin has fired many commanders because they failed. So, it is possible to say that Russian dictator lives in a dream world. Since its full-scale invasion of Ukraine in February 2022, Russia has consistently distorted perceptions of its own military prowess and successes on the battlefield. From the beginning, the Kremlin has claimed swift victories and minimal losses, in contrast with reliable, independent assessments that state otherwise. State media have routinely downplayed Ukrainian resistance and exaggerated Russian military successes, creating a parallel reality for domestic consumption and international intimidation. Take the Kremlin's portrayal of the Battle of Kiev in the early stages of the war, for example. Despite failing to capture the Ukrainian capital and suffering significant losses, Russian propaganda painted the withdrawal as a strategic goodwill gesture, continuing a long-standing Russian tradition of inflating military capability through propaganda. When confronted in the physical theater of combat, the Russian military often defaults to brute force tactics where human lives, especially Russian, are expendable.